Why is it that the more you try to understand her, the less she wants you? Think about it. You give her your time, your attention, your loyalty. You treat her like a girlfriend, taking her out, texting her good morning, staying up late to hear about her day. She laughs with you, leans on you, makes you believe there's something real. But when you finally ask, "So, what are we?" she drops the line every man dreads. "I'm not ready for a relationship right now." And instead of walking away, you convince yourself there must be a reason. You start digging into her past. You ask about her exes. You listen to her childhood stories. You tell yourself that if you can just understand her trauma, maybe you can fix her. But here's the truth no one tells you. Understanding doesn't make her love you. It doesn't make her commit. All it does is keep you stuck, giving her comfort, validation, and patience, while you get nothing in return. And yet men repeat this mistake again and again, thinking empathy will unlock commitment. But if understanding really worked, why are you still stuck in the same cycle? That's the painful reality. Understanding doesn't fix, it excuses. It doesn't move her closer, it keeps you trapped. And until you see the traps clearly, you'll keep wasting years in relationships that serve her comfort while destroying your sanity. Stick with me, because in the next part, I'm going to expose the 5 biggest traps men fall into when they confuse understanding for progress. And once you see them, you'll never look at relationships the same way again. The first trap begins when you start playing therapist. You mistake emotional labor for intimacy and assume that listening to every detail of her past will earn love. The harsher truth is this: the more you act like her counselor, the less she sees you as her man. Picture the late-night call at 2 a.m. She's crying about how every man she dated cheated or left. You listen for hours. You comfort her. You feel needed and different. Weeks later, she's still distant, still afraid of commitment, and you're exhausted, wondering why nothing changed. Because it never does. Women don't fall in love with their therapists. They use them for comfort, lean on them when they're weak, then chase the thrill of the man who doesn't carry their baggage. You don't earn respect by fixing wounds. You earn it by standing in your standards. Socrates said, "The unexamined life is not worth living. Let hers be hers to examine." If you've been more unpaid therapist than partner, you've already surrendered your role. Punchline: stop being her emotional doctor. Be her man, or walk away. Right behind that comes dating her potential instead of her reality. You don't fall for who she is. You fall for who you imagine she could become. That's how men lose years. Think of the woman who's fun, magnetic, beautiful, and flaky, unstable, and ghosting when it gets tough. Instead of moving on, he tells himself she just needs time. He repeats, once she heals, once she works through the past, she'll be perfect. That's the lie that keeps him stuck. It's like buying a car with no engine and saying, one day this will be my dream ride. Or hiring an employee who can't do the job and saying, with enough training, maybe they'll get it. High-value men don't invest in fantasies. They invest in reality. Nietzsche warned, hope is the worst of evils, for it prolongs the torments of man. Dating potential keeps you clinging to a future that never arrives while the present drains you dry. Stop loving the idea of who she could be. Start seeing who she is right now. If you've fallen for potential, don't beat yourself up. Every man has. Now that you see it, you can break free. And there's a shift that stops you from falling again. Another trap hides inside of virtue. Patience. Patience is noble until it becomes self-destruction. You start believing waiting equals love and say, healing takes time. Change isn't linear. If I wait, she'll come around. Imagine waiting 6 months for her to be ready. She isn't. You wait another year, still nothing. She says she's working on herself, but nothing changes. She's comfortable with your devotion. You're stuck in limbo. Your life becomes a waiting room for her healing. Seneca said, "Life is long if you know how to use it." Waste it waiting for someone who refuses to grow, and life turns short. Time is your most precious resource. You can earn money back. You can rebuild your body. You can't buy back years. Patience is powerful only when it's earned. Waiting without change isn't love, it's self-neglect. Then comes diagnostic obsession. It feels smart and productive, but it's poison. You spend more energy analyzing her psychology than living the relationship. You dive into attachment theory. You binge videos on narcissism. You can explain her behavior in clinical terms. Picture the man who can trace her unavailability to her father's neglect, past breakups, and fear of intimacy. His analysis is perfect, yet she's still distant, still disrespectful, still not committing. Knowledge without action is sophisticated procrastination. Marcus Aurelius said, "Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one." Stop diagnosing her. Start deciding. Are you okay with this? Or are you spending your life trying to treat someone who doesn't want to heal? Understanding won't fix anything. It just keeps you stuck while your life slips away. The last trap is responsibility displacement. She blames her past. You blame her trauma. Together, you dodge the truth. Her choices today. A woman can say she's emotionally unavailable because of childhood. The fact remains, she's choosing not to work on it, and you're choosing to stay. That story keeps both of you locked in the past instead of facing the present. Aristotle said, "We are what we repeatedly do." Excellence, then, is not an act, but a habit. If she repeatedly avoids accountability, that's who she is. If you repeatedly excuse it, that's who you're becoming. Stop excusing. Start deciding. Every day you stay, you teach her how little you value yourself. If these traps hit close to home, don't panic. Most men never wake up. You just did. Now it's time for the 5 shifts that protect you forever. The first shift is simple and brutal. Stop fixing and start filtering. You've lived the late night scene. She unloads about her ex. You nod and comfort and promise, "I'd never do that." Deep down you believe, if I love hard enough, she'll see I'm different. Weeks turn into months. She still pulls away. Then the line that guts you. "You're such a good guy, but I'm just not ready." The hours and energy feel wasted. This is the silent heartbreak of men. They don't just lose her. They lose themselves and start asking, "What's wrong with me?" Here's the truth that frees you. You didn't fail. You chose the wrong role. You tried to be a mechanic when you should have been a driver. Mechanics live in the shop and keep fixing broken cars. Drivers pick a car that runs and move forward. Filtering is choosing reality over fantasy. If someone is inconsistent, disrespectful, or emotionally unavailable, that's not a puzzle. That's your answer. In the first 4 weeks, watch 5 red flags: constant excuses, last-minute cancellations, no effort in communication, playing victim, disrespecting your time. Also, look for 5 green flags: consistent communication, respect for boundaries, real appreciation, effort to see you, emotional stability. Honor 1 exit rule. If 2 or 3 core standards are violated early, you leave. No drama. No debate. You don't negotiate your non-negotiables. Psychologists call the old pattern codependency, taking responsibility for someone else's healing while neglecting your own needs. The American Psychological Association links it to burnout, resentment, and low self-worth. That's why fixing isn't love. It's self-abandonment. Culture wires men for this. In America, boys hear, "Be patient, Be understanding. Be the nice guy. So when someone says, "I'm broken, I'm not ready," men take it as a challenge. They think the most patient man wins. Painful truth. It just gets you used. Marcus Aurelius said, "If it is not right, do not do it. If it is not true, do not say it." If the relationship isn't right, don't stay. If the love isn't true, don't pretend it is. You don't have to carry their wounds. You don't have to heal their pain. You don't have to earn love by proving you can hold their damage. That burden isn't yours. The moment you drop fixing, you breathe again. It's like breaking the surface after years underwater. No more sleepless nights wondering if you're enough. No more emotional labor for someone who won't choose you. No more fixing. Only filtering. Fixing is slavery. Filtering is freedom. Even then, many men slide into a cousin of the same mistake. They stop fixing, but try to heal with love. That's where the next shift begins. Stop healing and start hiring. Most men run their love lives like hospitals. They meet a hurting woman who admits she isn't ready and believe their love will heal her. They think, "If I give enough patience and care, she'll see I'm the one." That isn't love. That's therapy disguised as romance. She tells you on the second date, "I've been hurt. I don't know if I can trust." You treat it like a mission. Months pass. You invest your heart, time, and loyalty. She doesn't move closer. She told you from the start, "I'm not ready." You ignored it because it felt noble to believe your love was strong enough to heal her. Psychologists call this the healing fallacy, the belief that love and patience fix deep wounds. Attachment research shows insecure patterns like avoidance, fear of intimacy, and chronic mistrust don't change because someone loves them enough. They change when the person is motivated to heal through therapy, self-work, and accountability. If she won't do it for herself, she won't do it for you. Men ignore that, especially in America where therapy culture crowns empathy as the highest form of love. You hear, "A real man loves her through her pain." In reality, you become her unpaid therapist and watch her leave when something new excites her. You're not crazy if this happened. You were following the script. But relationships aren't hospitals. They're partnerships. Seneca said, "It is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste a lot of it." How many years have men wasted trying to heal women who never wanted to be healed? How many chances at real love did they miss while playing doctor? You don't need a patient. You need a partner. Choose a woman who can give love now, not someday. Choose the one who is ready, stable, and willing. You're not her rehab. You're not her savior. You're not her cure. You're a potential partner, or you're gone. Accept that, and you'll see how much time and energy you were pouring into the wrong role. Stop healing. Start hiring. You don't need another patient. You need a partner. And to know if she's truly ready, you lean on the next shift. Boundaries. Stop tolerating and start testing. Men are taught tolerance equals love. They swallow frustration, ignore disrespect, and endure moods to be the good guy. Tolerance without boundaries isn't love. It's self-destruction. She cancels last minute. Again. She raises her voice at you in public. She flirts with other men at a party. You feel the heat in your chest but say, "Stay calm. Don't push her away." Months pass and nothing changes. Your silence taught her she can do anything, and you'll tolerate it. That's the nice guy trap. He thinks tolerance proves value. In reality, it kills attraction. Women respect standards, not doormats. Psychologists call this boundary collapse, the erosion of self-respect when you allow repeated disrespect without consequences. Research from the Gottman Institute shows relationships thrive when partners enforce clear boundaries and fail when they tolerate contempt. And contempt is exactly what grows when you let bad behavior slide. So you use action, not speeches. If someone cancels twice without a good reason, you pause all plans for 2 weeks. If inconsistency continues for 30 days, you stop investing. If public disrespect happens once, you address it. If it happens again, you walk. Society wires men to over-tolerate. Don't be controlling. Don't be toxic. Just let her be. There's truth there, but the pendulum swung too far. Men confuse weakness with compassion. Compassion without standards is enabling. Aristotle said, "We are what we repeatedly do." If she keeps breaking your boundaries, that's her habit. If you keep tolerating it, that becomes yours. Boundaries aren't about control. They're about discovery. They don't push women away. They reveal who deserves to stay. When you test with boundaries, you protect yourself and gather fast, clean data. You don't need to tolerate disrespect to prove you're loving. You don't need to swallow pain to be patient. Boundaries aren't walls. They're doors. Only the right woman walks through. Boundaries don't push women away. They push the wrong women away. If boundaries are doors, your emotions are the investment behind those doors. That leads straight to the next shift. Start protecting your investment. Most men never think about this, and it costs them the most. They invest too early. They give loyalty, time, energy, even exclusivity before she proves anything. 2 dates in, he deletes the apps. A few weeks in, he cancels on friends. A few months in, he acts like a husband while she acts single. He's all in, texting non-stop, spending money and time like it's already committed. She doesn't respect it because it came too easily. That's premature investment. It feels romantic and noble. It kills attraction and sets up heartbreak. When she leaves, and if she wasn't serious, she will, you feel betrayed. The betrayal started when you gave what wasn't earned. Psychologists call this overinvestment bias. The sunk cost fallacy keeps people pouring into losing situations because they've already given so much. Men keep adding love, money, and time, not because it's working, but because they can't accept the loss. Modern American dating amplifies this. Apps push men to lock her down fast. Simp culture praises giving too much, too soon, and calls it chivalry. Real chivalry isn't dumping everything up front. It's knowing your worth and guarding it. Epictetus said, "Wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few wants." In relationships, that means wanting less up front. Hold back until she proves consistency, respect, and commitment. Your emotions aren't cheap. Your loyalty isn't a free trial. Your time isn't a discount offer. These are premium. She has to earn them. When you protect your investment, you stop getting trapped, stop feeling betrayed, and stop pouring into empty cups. Protect your emotions like your money, because they're worth more. Once you master that, you reach the power move. Choose through self-selection. Here's the hard truth. You don't always end up with the woman you want. You end up with the woman you're willing to settle for. Men settle because of scarcity. When you believe options are limited, you cling to anyone who shows attention. You ignore red flags. You tolerate toxicity. You whisper, "She's not perfect, but at least I'm not alone." Fear of being alone drives more men into bad relationships than anything else. Picture the app match who's attractive but inconsistent. She texts, then disappears. She's sweet, then cruel. You know she isn't stable, but you murmur, "She's the best I can get right now," and lock yourself into chaos. Not because she's right, but because you think you have no choice. Psychologists call it the scarcity mindset. When opportunities feel rare, you overvalue bad options out of fear. Men do it in love all the time. They choose broken partners from fear, not desire. High-value men reject scarcity. They build abundance. They improve themselves. They raise standards. They let women self-select into their lives. They don't chase every option. They attract the right ones. When the wrong ones fall away, they don't panic. They celebrate. Picture two men. One has no abundance and clings to toxic partners, terrified of losing them. The other builds himself, physically, financially, emotionally. He has options and standards. From strength, he chooses. Which one gets respect? Seneca said, "Luck is what happens when preparation meets opportunity." Build yourself, and you won't need luck. You won't need to chase. The right woman will rise to your standards. The wrong women will eliminate themselves. That's self-selection. You don't have to beg for love or chase attention or hold on to toxic women out of fear. You choose. You filter. You set the standard. She either rises to meet it or falls away. Both outcomes serve you. You don't chase. You choose. That's self-selection. Put all 5 shifts together: filtering, hiring, testing, protecting, and self-selecting. And you get more than tactics. You get a way of life. These standards free you from traps that held you for years. Now bring it all home. You've seen the traps: playing therapist, dating potential, waiting forever, overanalyzing, and carrying her problems like they're yours. They feel like love, but they only drain you. And maybe you saw yourself in those patterns. Then came the shifts: filter instead of fix, hire instead of heal, test instead of tolerate, protect your investment, and let women self-select. These aren't tricks, they're standards. They're how men stop wasting years on the wrong women and start choosing the right ones. Here's the truth: you were never meant to fix her, heal her, or tolerate what breaks you. You were meant to choose better. Marcus Aurelius said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." You can't control her trauma, her choices, or her past. But you can control what you accept. That's your freedom. The men who escape the traps aren't the ones who understand women. They're the ones who understand themselves. So let me ask you, which trap have you fallen into the most? Drop it in the comments, because chances are you're not alone. And if this woke something up in you, hit subscribe and share this with a brother who needs it. In the next video, I'll break down the most powerful boundary men can set and why the right women love it while the wrong ones don't. See you in the next video.